So nature of physical world and measurement, that's first unit. So now we are going to see the introduction of the science. So introduction of science அப்படிங்கிறதுல நம்ம பார்க்க போறோம் என்ன அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, so science அப்படின்னா என்ன அப்படின்னு பார்க்க போறோம். So science அப்படின்றது is nothing but the word scientia. Scientia is a Latin word that means to know. So knowing the truth. So knowing the truth or the to know is called science. Science அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கு அதான் அர்த்தம். Then what is meant by say science? So science is the study of natural phenomena. Naturally, so many things are occurs. So for an example, you can take that rainbow or the different changes in the season, appearance of the rainbow and celestial objects in nature, the revolution of the earth, the rotation of the earth, moon motion. So these things are occurs in nature. Okay, in today's modern science and technology, we are understanding the nature of the natural things, that phenomena. So we have to gain the knowledge systematic manner by doing the observation, experimentation, and logical reasoning. So you know that what is new moon day, what is full moon day, why it is occurs. So எப்படி கண்டுபிடிச்சிருப்பாங்க for new moon day or a full moon day, whatever it is. So we know that everything is in the calendar. 2000 years or 2500 years before, everyone knows that the full moon day and new moon day, and they are calculating that everything in a accurate timing with the accurate timing and the day. அவங்கள எப்படி இதை அப்சர்வ் பண்ணியிருப்பாங்க? இப்போ நியூ மூன் டே வருது ஆர் ஃபுல் மூன் டே எதா இருந்தாலும் சரி என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நம்ம வந்து ஃபார் எவ்ரி 14 days, ஓகே, ஆர் எவ்ரி 28 days, எவ்ரி 28 days இட் அக்கர்ஸ் த ஃபுல் மூன் டே அண்ட் நியூ மூன் டே. அப்ப என்ன பண்ணிருப்பாங்க, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் 28 daysல எப்படி வந்து அவங்க கண்டுபிடிச்சிருப்பாங்க? ஃபர்ஸ்ட் தே ஹேவ் டு அப்சர்வ். So they are observing that new moon day and full moon day for the 28 days. Repeatedly they are observing that after every 28 days they discover that full moon day and new moon day occurs between the 28 days. Okay, that's called science. So the science means that we have to do regular observation and we have to find out what is natural phenomena and why it is occurs. And nowadays science is practiced in astronomy, chemistry, human physiology, and agriculture or oral communication. These things are developed in a modern days. So the science advancement and astronomy to medicine. So where these things are very important for our day-to-day life. The scientific and mathematical excellence in India dates back that human activity in the Indus Valley civilization 3300 to 1300 BC. ஸோ அப்பவே வந்து இதெல்லாம் என்ன பண்ணிட்டாங்க அப்படின்னா எல்லாமே ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க. அப்போ அப்சர்வேஷன் அண்ட் லாஜிக்கல் திங்கிங் அண்ட் ரீசனிங் இதெல்லாம் கண்டினியூவா நம்ம பண்ணும்போது தான் we have to find out that what it occurs or why that natural things are occurs like this. ஸோ ஒரு இப்போ வந்து ரெயின்போ ப்ரொடியூஸ் ஆகுது அப்படின்னா ரெயின்போ ஏன் வருது அப்படிங்கிறது நம்ம என்ன பண்ணோம், we have to observe that continuously and then find out that what is the reason behind the production of that rainbow. So that these things are studied in the natural phenomena, that is called science. So now next we are going to see the scientific methods. So scientific methods, we can how to do that scientific research. It has certain methods. So now we are going to see the methods by step. So it has the 5 steps: that systematic observation, controlled experimentation, quantitative and quantitative reasoning, mathematical modeling, prediction and verification. So these are all the methods of doing the scientific method. So see that observation. What is meant by observation? All can be observed with the 5 senses. So we can observe the things with the 5 senses. So these senses are used to find out we have to observe the thing. Okay, then we have to do the research. Why it occurs? Why the rainbow occurs? Why the full moon day and new moon days occurs? So like that we have to do the research. Then from that we use reliable sources to learn background information. So we have to get the information why it is occurs. So before that we have to observe and we have to find out. Nowadays we are having the source, from the source we can find out. Then we have to predict something, that is called hypothesis. So in that prediction of that you believe will occur if and a specific. So for an example, full moon day and new moon day also you can take an example. Or if the gummy bears are placed in the water for 24 hours, then they will swell over here twice their original size. So we can find out why it is occurs. So it's an example. Then you have to do the experiment. So how to do the experiment? So you can do that qualitative and quantitative data. That means we have to observe that into a long time, the natural things. So the descriptions in the numbers. Okay. Then finally you have to do the experiment. After predicting and verify that, you have to do the experiment. That experiment has the different variables, independent variables and dependent variables. So using that, you can do the scientific research. For an example, consider a metallic rod. The rod is heated. So one end of the rod is heated. So definitely you can feel the heat on the other side. So how the heat is transferred from one end of the rod to the another end. And it is effect true for all the materials. How does the heat reach the other end? And what happens within the rod when it is heated? If heat flows through the material, is it possible to visualize the heat? So these are all the questions occurs when the rod is heated at the one end and it is produced in the other, when you feel the heat in the other end. So this is the method of doing the scientific research. Let's say the experiment. It's called the experiment. So it is an experimental group or control group that is depending on the dependent and dependent. The dependent group have the qualitative and quantitative. Just you know that it's not in it is just an introduction to the experiment. So next thing is physics experiment, that introduction. It is divided into two things. So one is the unification and reductionism. Unification and reductionism. What is meant by unification? So unification means, you know that gravitational force is acting on all the bodies which is in the earth. So for example, you can take that Newton's law of gravitational force. So Newton's law of gravitational force is not a one simple thing. The force is acting on all the objects. So the Newton's law for gravity, it's not only for that one thing, that apple or whatever it is. So the gravitational force is acting on all those things. So we are doing the experiment and we have concluded that. So finally we come to a conclusion. We are observing the macroscopic. That means that particle is a very big in size. So that is called unification. Finally we have concluded that law. Okay, that's called unification. So there is a one single light is experimentally in motion influenced by the gravity. So finally we concluded that all those things are actors due to the gravity. So this is called unification. Now we are going to see the reductionism. Reductionism means we are going to do the research. That research particle we are going to split it into very small. For example, you can take the atom. Atom is a very smallest particle. So we can do the experiment with the atom, or inside that atom we can find out that entropy or temperature or other properties of the microscopic properties. So we are divided into very small segment and we can do the research that is called reductionism. Reductionism means we are doing the research in a very smallest particles and we can do the research in that what is happening inside that less than that atom size. Okay. Unification means that is for a very big object. Okay. That very big objects and how that finally we concluded that law. That type of experiments are coming from the unification, and doing that very simple or very small type experiment or very small thing we are doing that experiment, that's called the reductionism. Okay, we are reducing that side, that's called microscopic. That doing an experiment in a very big object, that is called macroscopic. Okay, then next one. So you know that about the physics. Now we are going to see the different branches of physics. So what are all the branches of physics? So now we are going to see the branches of physics. So physics. So physics is classified into so many branches. See that physics mainly classified into classical and modern. Classical means it is a older days experiment. That is very old age that experiments and other phenomena. Modern days means after 20th century we are doing that so many experiments. So it can explain the 31st century's experiment. That is called modern physics. Okay, before 20th century that is classical. After 20th century that is modern. Again, the classical mechanics divided into these types. First one is mechanics, thermodynamics and kinetic theory of gases, and then optics, then electric and magnetism, acoustics, astrophysics, and relativity. So these are all the branches of classical mechanics. First one, mechanics. So mechanics is the study of force acting on bodies, whether at rest or in a motion. So we study about the body at rest or in motion. Thermodynamics is the study of relationship between heat and other forms of energy. Heat and other forms of energy. Next thing is optics. Optics is nothing but study about the light. Third one, electricity and magnetism. It's study about the magnetism and the electricity. So there is another branch. Then next one is the acoustics. It's study about the production and the propagation of sound waves. Okay, that's called. And another thing is physics of astronomical bodies. That is astrophysics. Astrophysics is the study about the astronomical bodies. That's called astrophysics. Last one, relativity. So one of the branches theoretical physics, which deals with the relationship between space, time, and energy, particularly with the object moving in a different ways. So that was explained in the relativity. Then next thing is modern. Modern class be classified into quantum physics, then atomic physics, and then nuclear physics, molecular physics, high energy physics, and finally condensed matter physics. The first one, quantum physics. So quantum physics means the study of the discrete nature of phenomena at the atomic and subatomic levels. So study of the discrete nature of phenomena at the atomic and subatomic levels. Atomic physics means the branch which deals with the structure and properties of atoms. Structure and properties of atom. Nuclear physics deals with the structure, property, and reaction of the nuclei of the atom. Nucleus. That is nuclei of the atom. Next one is the high energy physics. High energy physics is nothing but the study about the nature of the particles. So last one, condensed matter physics. The study about the properties condensed matter, solid, liquid, and those intermediate between them and dense gas. So it branches into various subdivisions including developing fields such as nanoscience, photonics, etc. It covers the basic of material science which aims at developing new material with better properties for promising applications. So this is for the condensed matter physics. So these are all the two main branches of the physics. One is the modern, another one is the classical. Again, mechanics is divided into two types. One is statistics, another one is dynamics. Statistics is the study about the object in rest. Dynamics is the study about the object in motion. That can be divided into two things, kinematics and kinetics. Quantum physics, last one, that has the two division. One is the non-relativistic, then relativistic. These are the two branches of quantum physics. Okay, so these are all the different branches of physics.